Absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
He's always spending, so I guess.
Absolutely.
Oscar de la Hoya just shocked the world by exposing Floyd Mayweather's deepest secret. He is broke. That is right. The king of flash and money has fallen on hard times. So, how did Mayweather go from living like a billionaire to struggling for cash? Let's break it down. De la Hoya and Mayweather, the rivalry that started it all. De la Hoya has been calling Mayweather broke for years. Every time he says it, the paper trail behind Mayweather gets longer. It started when De la Hoya was at a hotel in Los Angeles celebrating Canelo Alvarez signing what he called the biggest sports contract in the history of any sport. A massive deal with Golden Boy Promotions and a streaming service. Then a reporter asked him about Mayweather. That was all it took. Look, another reason why he has crawled out of his rock, he needs money. De la Hoya did not stop there.
Another reason why he's crawled out of his rock, he needs money.
So, I guess then he pointed at a name everyone knew.
Look, he's not fighting anymore, so that big money's not coming in. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He made what, $500 million?
De la Hoya's point was simple. Big earners go broke when the money stops coming in. He called Mayweather a broke fraud and told him to stay under his rock.
Stay under your rock, dude.
Now, this was years ago. Mayweather had officially retired after beating Conor McGregor. The exhibitions had not fully started yet. The lawsuits had not piled up yet. The liens were not public yet. De la Hoya was throwing punches in the dark. But the thing about punches thrown in the dark is that sometimes they land. To understand why De la Hoya felt entitled to say any of this, you have to go back to their fight. Because that fight is where everything between these two men begins. De la Hoya and Mayweather shared the ring at a major arena in Las Vegas in a bout billed as The World Awaits. The fight drew millions of pay-per-view buys, generating enormous PPV revenue alone. The live gate reached a then-record amount. Total revenue crossed a historic threshold. At that point, it was the most lucrative boxing match in history. De la Hoya walked away with a significant. Mayweather walked away with a smaller sum and a split decision win that preserved his undefeated record. The judges scored it in Mayweather's favor. De la Hoya lost on the cards, but as the promoter, he had already won at the bank. That is the foundation of De la Hoya's attitude toward Mayweather. He sees himself as the man who built the platform. In a later appearance on a podcast, De la Hoya claimed he negotiated a heavily lopsided split in his favor and that before their fight, Mayweather was earning only a few million per fight on undercards. The event, according to De la Hoya, is what turned Mayweather into Money Mayweather. There is also a rematch story that De la Hoya has never let go of. The original contract had a rematch clause. De la Hoya has claimed that Mayweather knew exactly what he was doing. We had a rematch clause in our contract, he said. This is something I negotiated as well.
Rematch clause in our contract. This is something I negotiated as well. We had a rematch clause. If he beats me, I get a rematch. It was a 1-year clause. Guess what he did? He retired for 1 year and 1 day.
The retirement, De la Hoya says, was calculated. Let's just say you guys do have another fight and a rematch within that year, and he kept the commitment. The rematch never happened. And from that point on, the rivalry between these two men shifted from the ring to public statements, social media, and press conferences. De la Hoya positioned himself as the man Mayweather owed a rematch to, and the man who could see through Mayweather's money image better than anyone. That early rant set the template. What came after it made that template look prophetic. And what came after it started with Mayweather's post-retirement choices De la Hoya had plenty to say about. Life is expensive, De la Hoya said, turning up the heat. After that, De la Hoya kept watching, and Mayweather kept giving him material. Eventually, Mayweather was deep into the Exhibition circuit. These are fights with no official record, no sanctioning body, no consequence to his perfect record. Mayweather had done them against various opponents and influencers, and he stepped into the ring against one fighter. What happened next gave De La Hoya exactly the opening he needed. The bout was unsanctioned and non-scored. It ended with crowd boos and no official result. De La Hoya posted a response on social media. He described what he said happened inside the ring, that in the second round, Mayweather had the referee replaced because he did not like being told to stop hitting behind the head. De La Hoya said Floyd is used to having the referees do whatever he wants and he was not getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Then he shifted his tone. What started as criticism turned into something that sounded almost like concern, but carried a very specific message buried inside it. De La Hoya said, "Floyd, you are a legend in this sport, and I have stood up for you in countless interviews, but you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard and life is expensive, but come on, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. Life is hard and life is expensive." That line became the headline. It was the clearest public statement De La Hoya had made connecting Mayweather's exhibition choices to financial pressure. He was not reading from a financial report. He was drawing a conclusion from what he saw. A legend doing unsanctioned exhibitions against a lesser opponent with crowd boos and referee disputes. To De La Hoya, the math was obvious. These exhibitions do not carry record risk. They do carry pay. And De La Hoya's argument was simple. A man who does not need money does not keep doing this. Then came more recent events, and the Pacquiao situation made everything louder. A rematch between Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao was originally scheduled at a major venue in Las Vegas. The dispute was about format. Mayweather reportedly wanted an exhibition. No official record, no risk to his perfect record. De La Hoya responded in a widely shared clip. He said, "Fight a real fight. You are still trying to protect your zero." Then he went further. "Yes, you are undefeated on paper, but people know you have lost." And then he pulled out the old fight again. "Your own father said you lost against me." This is a reference De La Hoya has made more than once. He claims that after their fight, Mayweather's own father came to him and told him he had won.
Say, you guys do have another fight and a rematch within that year. Yeah. And he kept the commitment.
After that conversation happened exactly that way is something only the men in the room know. But De La Hoya has told the story consistently, and he keeps using it as leverage every time the rivalry flares up. The Pacquiao drama also gave De La Hoya the chance to revisit the rematch clause story. The idea that Mayweather has always found a way to avoid the fights that carry real risk while taking the money that comes with the spectacle. The exhibition format dispute over the Pacquiao rematch, in De La Hoya's framing, was just the latest version of the same pattern he identified years earlier. Across multiple years, De La Hoya's message has never really changed. He believes Mayweather's post-retirement choices, the exhibitions, the format negotiations, the protected matchups, are driven by a need to keep money coming in without putting the undefeated record on the line. He has never produced a bank statement to prove it. But then someone else did the digging, and what they found was a paper trail that ran through counties in Nevada, Texas, and New York. What the paper trail actually showed was this. An outlet published an investigation titled, "Inside Floyd Mayweather's Lavish, Debt-Filled Post-Boxing Life." The reporters reviewed hundreds of pages of public records, court filings, county property records, loan documents, tax notices, aviation records, and civil lawsuits filed across multiple jurisdictions. Every claim in the piece was tied to a verifiable public document. No anonymous sources, no leaked bank statements, just public records. And those records told a Specific story. Mayweather's career produced an estimated $1.2 billion in boxing earnings. He retired undefeated. He sat for an interview and made his position clear.
Mayweather's father came straight at me and he goes, "Oscar, you beat."
Later, the public records showed a different picture. Loan documents filed with county recorders showed that Mayweather secured tens of millions of dollars in financing from a specialty lender through affiliated entities at an interest rate of roughly 9%. Mayweather's lawyer told the outlet the purpose was to fund other ventures.
Financially set. I want to let everybody know this. He said in 2021, every property I have is paid for. My jet paid for.
The collateral package behind that loan is what stands out. It included residential homes owned by Mayweather or his companies, his Las Vegas strip club, and his private Gulfstream jet. The loans were cross-collateralized, meaning they were secured by a broad pool of assets rather than individual properties.
According to his deal, a portion of the debt was cross-collateralized, which means it was taken across a collection of Mayweather's assets rather than small loans tied to individual.
The risk in that structure is direct. A default on any portion could trigger claims against multiple assets at once. The records did not stop at the loan. Commercial property foreclosures had occurred. Public tax records for Clark County, Nevada, showed that the building housing the strip club faced a risk of tax sale or further foreclosure action due to unpaid property taxes and associated penalties. Then there was the mansion. A lien was placed on Mayweather's primary Las Vegas mansion for unpaid garbage collection services.
A $568 lien was put on his mansion for
aviation records added more. A Texas-based aviation fuel supplier filed a lawsuit against Mayweather's companies, seeking payment for unpaid fuel bills. Federal Aviation Administration aircraft lien records documented him. Additional lien on the Gulfstream jet itself for maintenance and related services.
Aviation fuel suppliers sued Mayweather companies in June over what they said was $137,000 in unpaid bills, which is jet fuel for his jet. FAA records showed that a lien was placed on the aircraft for another $358,000 for maintenance.
Then there were the luxury goods disputes. A Las Vegas car dealership sued Mayweather over an alleged unpaid balance on a luxury vehicle. Mayweather countersued the dealer, claiming the vehicle was defective. Separate lawsuits from jewelry retailers accused him of failing to pay for millions of dollars worth of high-end watches and gold items. One Miami jeweler's complaint referenced expensive watch models.
It's a string of lawsuits and liens that say he owes money for a Mercedes Maybach G-Wagon. Wait, they make Maybach G-Wagons? What the fuck? Jet fuel, which obviously is for a jet, and garbage collection that is law.
And a Manhattan real estate lawsuit surfaced. Court documents described a claim by the management company of a luxury duplex apartment alleging Mayweather owed significant back rent, plus additional damages. The total claim exceeded $500,000 when fees and interest were included. The complaint stated that payments had fallen behind on a six-figure monthly lease. The investigative piece did not call Mayweather bankrupt. It described a situation of cash flow strain amid high living expenses, with reliance on debt financing and exhibitions to maintain liquidity. The outlet stood by its reporting when Mayweather later filed legal action against it, noting that all information came from open court and government records accessible to any member of the public. Mayweather's response to all of this would take a different form entirely, one involving a massive lawsuit and a defamation filing. Mayweather fought back. Mayweather's answer to the outlet was not a press conference. It was not a social media post. It was a lawsuit, and then another one. A detailed complaint was filed in a Los Angeles County court against Showtime Networks, Incorporated, and a former Showtime sports president. The lawsuit sought a substantial amount in compensatory damages, plus punitive damages. The legal theories in the filing included aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, conversion, and unjust enrichment. Al Heyman, Mayweather's longtime former advisor and manager, was not named as a defendant. The filing reportedly left him out of personal regard, but the entire case centered on allegations that Heyman had orchestrated a multi-year scheme to divert funds, with Showtime and the former president providing, as the complaint put it, knowing and substantial participation and aid. What exactly was the scheme? According to the filing, the complaint alleged that instead of routing fight revenues directly to Mayweather, Showtime wired substantial portions of the earnings to third-party accounts linked to Heyman and associates, including one tied to Mayweather's tax attorney. These transfers were allegedly disguised through labels such as reimbursements, loan payoffs, or expenses, allowing funds to be redirected without Mayweather's full knowledge or authorization. The fights in question covered the multi-fight deal that included bouts against several top opponents. These are the fights that put Mayweather in record-breaking territory. The Pacquiao fight, the McGregor fight, the peak of his earning power. The suit highlighted what it called a complex web of hidden accounts, unauthorized transactions, and deliberate concealment of financial records. It claimed that requests for transparent, fight-by-fight financial documentation from Showtime were met with claims that records were unavailable or had been archived. Court filings explicitly referenced Mayweather's verified career boxing earnings as exceeding $1.2 billion in total purses, with the Showtime period accounting for the majority of the highest grossing events. The amount sought was described as the minimum unaccounted and diverted amount. The logic in the filing was clear: Mayweather is not broke because of bad decisions. He is short because other people took what was his. The second legal action ran parallel. Mayweather filed a massive defamation lawsuit against the outlet and one of its reporters, stemming directly from the investigative reporting. In the defamation complaint, Mayweather alleged that the outlet published knowingly false and defamatory claims about the status of certain property, transactions that damaged his business reputation, creditworthiness, and ability to secure future deals. He sought a substantial amount in damages along with a public retraction and restrictions on further reporting by the journalist involved. The outlet stood by its reporting. The outlet noted, as it had before, that all information came from open court and government records. Meanwhile, people close to Mayweather had their own take. One of them was a man who describes himself as Mayweather's business partner.
He's definitely not broke. Floyd is wealthy. You and I are broke compared to Floyd Mayweather.
Definitely. You know where Floyd is rich at right now?
What's that?
His peace of mind.
He addressed the public records directly, specifically the issue of things not being in Mayweather's name.
Find nothing in Floyd's name directly. You're not gonna find, when you're dealing with that type of money and those type of situations, you know this, Vlad, it's set up. It could be a foundation.
The lawsuits, the supporters, and the denials all formed Mayweather's counter-narrative. But they sat alongside something else, the IRS. Because Mayweather's tax history was already well documented long before the outlet published a single word. And that history showed that the gap between earnings and payments had always been wide. The tax bills, the scandals, and the mirror. Mayweather's tax record is public and it is long. Public records showed a federal tax lien for over $22 million related to past income, largely from the Manny Pacquiao fight earnings. Mayweather petitioned the U.S. tax court for a delay until after his Conor McGregor bout, citing illiquid assets. He paid it. Records show he paid the IRS millions in back taxes. That was not the only IRS case. There was a multi-million-dollar unresolved claim from earlier years. And later, he settled another tax court case by conceding he owed millions in additional taxes, stemming from a disallowed legal expense deduction claimed through Mayweather Promotions, plus a significant accuracy-related penalty.
He settled with the IRS to pay $5.5 million in back taxes and another $1.1 in penalties, according to a settlement filed in U.S.
Mayweather's own accountant from earlier years had seen the pattern forming long before it became public. An accountant from Mayweather's early career said Mayweather spent heavily without setting aside enough to pay his taxes.
Dave Hall, Mayweather's accountant in early 2000, said Mayweather spent heavily without setting aside.
The spending habits were not a secret. Mayweather built a brand around them. The cash, the cars, the jets, the watches. He called himself Money Mayweather and made visibility part of the image. He liked the tangible element of having cash in his hand, watching it come and go, said a person who worked closely with Mayweather for years. The people around him noticed the shift after retirement. The core group around Mayweather began to break up once he left the ring. He parted ways with his longtime boxing manager and the longtime CEO of Mayweather Promotions. His uncle and longtime trainer died. The infrastructure that managed his career-era money was gone.
He seemed to have the guardrails that were in place. Mark Trados, a Las Vegas attorney who represented Mayweather during his professional fighting career in various business and legal matters, told the Business Insider. When you've got professionals that are doing the right thing for you, you're a little bit better protected. When you're out there on your own, your protection is...
Where the story turns. Because while De La Hoya has been pointing the finger at Mayweather's finances for years, his own financial situation tells a parallel story. Public real estate records revealed that Golden Boy Promotions had defaulted on a commercial mortgage-backed securities loan originally in the amount of millions of dollars, secured by its headquarters building in downtown Los Angeles. The notice of default stated that a significant amount remained outstanding on the debt. The building is a large office property in downtown Los Angeles. Golden Boy Promotions has occupied a floor as its long-term headquarters for many years. De La Hoya personally signed the loan documents as CEO. The loan originated years ago, carrying a maturity date that was missed. Special servicing followed. Then came the formal default notice. Public appraisals tied to the loan process valued the building at a reduced amount, a steep decline from its earlier valuation at the time of refinancing. The property was sitting roughly 40% vacant. And then there is De La Hoya's own personal history. In the same year he fought Mayweather, photos surfaced showing him in women's lingerie. He initially denied they were real. He later admitted in interviews and a public statement that the photos were genuine, describing the episode as part of a period of heavy substance abuse. He acknowledged being an alcoholic and drug addict at the time, with frequent infidelity. The matter led to a lawsuit seeking a large sum, which De La Hoya settled out of court for a significant amount. This is the man calling Mayweather broke, a man who settled a personal scandal for millions, a man whose company just defaulted on a commercial loan, a man who generated enormous career pay-per-view income and is now negotiating with special servicers to avoid losing his own office building. The record on both sides is the same record: big earnings, big spending, big debts, public documents that say one thing while the public image says another. De La Hoya has never produced a private financial document on Mayweather. His comments over the years are opinion, rivalry talk, and public observation. But the public documents that exist, the liens, the lawsuits, the aviation records, the tax court filings, the foreclosure notices, say what they say. And Mayweather's own massive lawsuit says that if money went missing, other people helped it disappear. Two fighters, one ring, decades later, two parallel paper trails that neither of them can fully control. Thank you for watching. Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Legacy Rounds and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.